Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This is your match reaction to our 3-1 loss against Barnsley yesterday afternoon in what was a very disappointing, frustrating and shocking afternoon at Oakwell yesterday afternoon. I mean, I already know how this is going to go, but obviously I'm not very happy with what we saw out there, as many town fans out there aren't either. You know, it was a dreadful day. It was a big opportunity to, you know what I mean, kind of, just show that, you know what, we're playing against a team that are going to be up there, and they always are. Barnsley out there, they're always up there. And we go and perform like that, and it just wasn't acceptable in any way, shape or form. But before we do get into the video, make sure you smash the likes on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let me know your thoughts down below on this as well, performance down in the comment section. But obviously the starting 11, we're going to get into it straight away. The starting 11, obviously Goodman in goal, a back four of obviously Gooch, Lowe and Feeney was the one that and left, obviously Rowan. The two holding midfielders of Kane and of course Ledson, the captain. Further forward in the attacking midfield areas, we've got obviously Harness on the right, Roos on the left, and he decided to go with Ben Wiles as the 10. Bench, Nichols, Sorensen, Wallace, Taylor, Kasumu, Castledine, Ashia. So yeah, obviously 10 changes to line up from midweek. Obviously no Watmore or Charles making the squad today at all. Also weren't even in the squad was Radulovic, who, you know, to be honest with you, has been a bit, hasn't barely been on the bench as he ever, but I was surprised with the likes of Watmore potentially not being on the bench, and Charles, I don't know what's happening with Charles, but he doesn't really help if he's just been left out completely. Obviously Kasumu impressed midweek, and he's obviously named back on the bench in this one. Sorensen also with a strong performance last week can only make the bench as well. Alfie May and Roosum both rested midweek entirely, and both started yesterday. So yeah, that was kind of the team lineup. I mean, look, again, I said it. I go back to where I did want Kasumu to start in the game. I know he hadn't played much football, so maybe it would have been too much for him. And he played a lot. You know, obviously played all the game against Sunderland in midweek in the cup. So maybe it was pushing it for him to start again yesterday. But I just don't like the Ledson and Kane partnership there at all. But that's just my opinion. But let's get into the game, and we're not going to spend much time on this because, like I said, just absolutely so annoyed. But I mean, look at the way we started this game. What did we say on the preview? Let's start the game quickly. Let's get at them from the off. And what did we do? We did the absolute opposite. They were all over us early on, and that is not what we wanted. Yes, they're a home side, and yes, you expect them to be more on the front foot a bit. But does that mean that we can't actually try and start on the front foot a bit more than what we did from what we showed? I don't think it does. You know, you have to get on the front foot, and you know, the away support that travelled there, nearly 5,000, and yeah, just basically just perform like that, unacceptable really. But and then look, they started the game well, and guess what? They go and score in the 9th minute, and this goal, guys, was absolutely woeful, wasn't it? Goodman, Mr. Goodman, an absolute howler of a mistake. A basic cross that came towards him. He spilled it and allowed it to bounce off his chest. And who was there waiting for it, saying thank you very much? Kayla Dunn wasn't missing from there. Simple tap-in. Absolutely terrible goal to concede. I don't know what Goodman was thinking, but I'm sorry. Not sure what was so difficult about it. It was just a simple cross into the box Sure, everybody's seen it out there. And he failed to deal with it. Poor. Absolutely poor. 1-0 down the first 10 minutes there, and we need to respond. We needed to respond to it, didn't we? We need to, and what I mean by respond, I don't mean getting a few corners and stuff and go like we did. I'm on about testing the goalkeeper. And no, what did we do? We didn't do anything. We didn't create any opportunities for ourselves. And even when we did have shots, they were just blocking everything. That's what you call heart and desire and passion and commitment for the cause. That's what Barnsley had. Barnsley wanted it more. So yeah, look, the lack of creativity once again highlighted in this match. We presumably brought in somebody like Castledine to start matches for that creative spark, because presumably that's why we brought in number 10. Because clearly nobody else is doing it in this side. Wiles, again, I got to go back to it. I can't believe that you keep starting Wiles. Can you not see what I'm seeing and many other town fans out there seeing? Wiles is not a good starter. He's a good player to come off the bench. Not a starter. He's ineffective. He started last weekend against Stevenage. What did he do? Nothing. So I'm sorry. If the manager is choosing to ignore that, then that's on him. Because again, in this game, what was Wiles doing? What was he doing in this game, Wiles? He's supposed to be the creative spark. He's supposed to be the one that creates, as well as the people on the wing as well, Ruskin and Arnes. But Ruskin as well. What is Ruskin doing? Ruskin is just not doing what he should be doing on that left wing. And a lot of people out there have seen it. They're saying, well, he's not a left winger. He doesn't look like he's a left winger. And I thought that because he was so attacking when he came in, I don't even think he's played there, has he, before? He's played as a wing back, but he's not played as a winger. And there's a big difference, isn't there? Between the two positions. So yeah, Ruskin with poor Harness. Harness didn't do anything either. So, but I just think the favouritism needs to stop. From what, with Grant, with Wiles, Kane. Don't know what he's seen in either of them from the start. That's how I see it. Anyway, just goes from bad to worse. We're 1-0 down away from home, guys. Still haven't created anything whatsoever in this match. And then what does our goalkeeper do again? Second howler of the day from him. Another moment of madness from Goodman, who comes racing out of his box after a ball over the top is aimed towards Nagod, who was running onto it. He got there first. Goodman, in no man's land at this point, completely takes him out, high boot, and got himself sent off. Absolute chaos. What the hell was he thinking? What was his preparation before this match? Can I just ask? Because he was absolutely dreadful. So 1-0 down, like I say, away from home, and there we are. Let's just go and get somebody. Let's just get our goalkeeper sent off. Yeah, who cares? Is that what the attitude that we're gonna that this team's gonna portray from time to time? Then is it? So yeah, sorry. Utter madness. So poor in there. He had a horrible start to the match, and he just made him 10 times worse for himself by getting sent off as well. And make it even more difficult for the team to get back into the game if we were going to start creating opportunities, because we weren't doing anything. Let's not pretend the opening 35 minutes was anything to be, excited about, because it wasn't. We didn't do anything. We didn't even look like scoring. We didn't create anything. So, yes, we've got a man sent off, but people are just forgetting about the opening 35 minutes for some reason. Well, I'm not. I'm not going to do that, because it was absolutely shocking from minute one. Sorry, I'm just absolutely. I just feel like I need to get this off my chest today, to be honest with you, because, I've been holding it in since yesterday, when since the full time whistle. But yeah, Goodman. Sorry, mate, but you let us down massively. by doing what he did there. Massive blunder for the first goal, and now this unnecessary red card. Do not come dashing out your goal like that when you don't know if you're going to get to it. So I'm sorry. Moment of madness. Not acceptable. Not good enough. And then, like I said, down to 10 men, the challenge is even bigger and even harder. Then our backs were up against the wall, of course. But the reality is we had to dig in deep at this point. Look at look at where teams have picked up points when they've been down to 10 men, It's not impossible. But we didn't even try. But we were up against it even more in this match now because of the red card. So Ruskin was sacrificed for Nichols, who came on as well in the goal. Ruskin didn't do anything anyway, so I don't really think it was a big loss taking him off. But look, we're up against it, 1-0 away from home, like I said. Then what do we go and do? We don't try and get to half-time and go in 1-0 and regroup. We go and concede again just before half-time. And once again, this was such poor defending from the corner. Feeney did meet the header first from the cross, but he heads it straight into the path of Connell, of the quality of Connell, on the edge of the penalty area. And you just can't afford to be making basic errors like that. If you're heading it, you need to get some good distance on it. You don't head it straight to the opposition player on the edge of the penalty area, and certainly not against a player that is so as good as he is. And then, look, Connell had all the time in the world. Nobody had any desire or anything to try and get out to it. Just stood there and watched him shoot, and too slow to get out to him. Where's the throwing the bodies on the line? Where was the full on commitment in that moment as well from the defence or the midfield that was obviously back on the edge of their own penalty area? Why weren't our number sixes doing anything? Kane, Ledson. It's not good enough. So let him shoot. Deflected into the back of the net, and there we are, 2-0, and game over at this point. I'd throw in the towel at that point. Nowhere near, we weren't coming back. 2-0 down, then in what was a terrible half. Just Goodman had a nightmare, and the team as a whole didn't do anything either. Didn't even look like they wanted to be there. Poor, absolutely poor from minute one. Not acceptable. This is, look. So second half, what do you do going into this second half now? What can you do? Down to 10 men, and we just can't test the keeper in any way. We just continue. But the thing is, people can hide behind the 10 men situation, but does it stop the team trying? Does it stop the team trying to get back into this game? It doesn't. So when we're making excuses, we did it not me personally, but fans did it last year when we were at Rotherham. We got a man sent off in that game. We went down to 10 men. People use that as an excuse as why we dropped points against Rotherham. I remember it very well. What are we doing here? Why are we making excuses for how bad this performance truly was? And I get that the red card didn't help it, but we weren't playing well before that anyway. So, you know what I mean? So look, not really a lot going on. Obviously, Barnsley were happy to consolidate, and we weren't doing anything. So the game kind of petered towards the end. I mean, look, Kasumu came on, made a few changes in it. Kasumu, I can't remember who else came on, to be honest with you. I haven't really looked. Because I know Kasumu came on too late, in my opinion. Should have been on earlier. What else did you do? It's just not acceptable, is it? At all. Alfie May came off a Taylor at half-time as well. Wiles came off a Castledinas involvement again. I don't understand why he left it till then. And Gooch came off a Sorensen at half-time as well. So a couple of changes in this game, but ultimately nothing changed in that second half. I mean, look at the third goal as well. We conceded late on in this match. Phillips was allowed to just shoot. Nichols palms it straight into Dunn's path, who wasn't missing from there. So again, another mistake from the goalkeeper. People are talking about Nichols is so better than Goodman and all this nonsense. Sorry, am I missing something? He's just as bad, and he hasn't been the same since he got injured. When he's started picking up those injuries, he hasn't looked the same for ages. So let's not try and kid ourselves about the situation here. Nichols isn't a number one. And just because he comes in and does good in the cup games and stuff like that, he's the hero and all this, and because people have their agendas they get for Nichols to start, that's all that counts. This was a shocking error again, and like I say, his distribution is awful anyway. And I don't really think he's look at last season. He wasn't really staking a claim for being number one then, was he? So why all of a sudden this season he's number one in some people's eyes? Don't understand it. But yeah, Howler 3-1. Not 3-1, 3-0, sorry. And yeah, just summed it up. Consolation goal for Taylor in the 87th minute, but by that point, I'm not really interested. So consolation. So yeah, Taylor got on the score sheet. I don't really have anything to say about it. So full time 3-1. Yeah, I mean, what do you say? What do you say about this game? It was just a very disappointing and shambolic game from us from minute one, including absolute chaos and carnage from our goalkeeper Goodman in that first half. 2 massive blunders, and you can't afford to do that. Okay, who you're against. We said it. If we don't perform, we'll get beat, and that's exactly what happened. And not just the first time away from this is the second away league game that we've gone away and we've performed as badly as this. We've conceded 6 goals in that time as well. Utterly chaos. The defence, I'm not sure what the defence were doing in this match, but they were nowhere to be seen. Poor. The number 6s, Kane and Ledson, poor. The wingers, poor. Everybody poor. The number 10, poor. Wiles, what was he doing? He didn't do anything. May had a very quiet game to say he had a rest in midweek. In midweek. But again, if you don't get the chances created for you, you don't get opportunities in this team that often, then what are you supposed to do? We've seen it. When May gets chances, he scores. But unfortunately, in this game, nobody was creating anything. And, well, not just in this game. We've had this problem for, since for the start of the season. So, yeah. I thought the substitutions were late in this game from Grant, and that's how I see it. Kasumu should have been on much earlier than what he came on. Still glad he's sort of forced his way into contention now and featured again. But he was crying out for Kasumu much earlier than what he came in. And how come the manager didn't see that? Taking off why did Wiles last 74 minutes? It just doesn't make any sense. Castledine should have been on at half time. In fact, I would have made loads of changes at half time. And yeah, the damage was all done in the first half. And yeah, sending off, stuff like that. Late concession goal from Taylor, but not really. Don't really. May as well not have scored. Back-to-back away league defeats, as I've already said, for the team. It's quite concerning at this point. If you can't go away and get and compete against, you've got to be winning these kind of games against a promotion rival as well in Barnsley. I know Blackpool were in a different situation where we faced them, but Barnsley, they'll be up there with us this season. So why are we've got to be beating these teams if we're serious about automatic promotion. But anybody that thinks we're getting automatic promotion, but I think people have got got carried away a little bit here. We're not getting automatic promotion playing like this. Tearing up like this in odd games. Yes, quite a few games we've played well, but sorry, we can't keep going back and forth with results. And I don't mind. I don't like losing, but I don't. If we go out there and actually, I do mind losing. But what I can't accept is that if we lose in this manner, that's what I can't accept. We're going to lose games this season, but not in the manner that we did in this one, I'm afraid. Not acceptable at all. And the creativity in this side needs to be sorted out very, very quickly, whether it be new signings through the door or something. And let's stop this favouritism, because I'm sick and tired of it already. I'm not even going to give a man of the match for anybody because I can't be bothered. It just was a woeful performance. We're back to square one. Stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. Don't expect us to win every single game, of course not. But it seems like it's stop, start at the moment. We get a couple of good results, then we go back into our own ways. We get a couple of good results. Is that what the pattern's going to be all season? Why can't we go on a run? A proper run. Not two games isn't a run. So yeah, I've got nothing else to say really about this game. I've gone on for far too long, to be honest with you. Had to get a lot of things off my chest. With all I will say, not acceptable in any way, shape or form. Very, very poor. And plenty of work to do for this team if we're serious about automatic promotion. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe to Strength You, and let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. But yeah, absolutely dreadful afternoon at Oakwell, which ended 3-1 to Barnsley. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all very, very soon.